or afternoon, whichever time you're logging on. It's Ms. Hartner, and you are looking at my screen in here like you're going to be in the classroom. So today we are going to go over something we call rules for building atoms. Now, in the past couple weeks, we've been talking about how to discover protons and electrons and neutrons. So what we're going to be looking at today is how those actually go together to build an atomic model. So first thing we've got to remember is that the atomic number tells us how many protons and how many electrons we have. And that the mass number minus the atomic number gives us neutrons. Okay, that's step one. Step two, when you start drawing an atom, you always start in the center, which is called our nucleus. Now, our nucleus contains two things, protons and neutrons. Now, when we're drawing them in our nucleus, we can write it or draw it several ways. It can be drawn with symbols like this, the positive or the circle for neutrons. Sometimes we might write P plus or N with an O to represent protons and neutrons. Or sometimes we just use a plus sign or an empty circle. For today, we're going to be using P plus and NO to represent our nucleus. Now, this next part's going to sound confusing, but once we get into it, it's going to make sense. So, this year we're going to study the first 3 rows of elements, which ends with argon, but we will still be using the whole periodic table. So we're just going to be using up to argon to draw the atom. Now, after we leave our nucleus, we have to go out to our energy levels. Now remember, our energy levels are all the lines on the outside that contain electrons. This is where the volume of the atom is because it's mostly empty space. So, on our first energy level, right here outside the nucleus, it can hold, right here, up to 2 electrons. That means it can either have 1 electron or it can have 2 electrons, but no more than that. Once there are 2 here, you have to move out to the second energy level, which can hold up to 8 electrons. So that means if you have more than 2, let's say you have 3, then you would put 2 on the inside and 1 on the outside, and you would have your 3 electrons. Let's say you need 9. You would put 2 on the inside and then 7 on the second energy level. Now, if you think about this, 8 plus 2 gives us 10. So if your element has more than 10 electrons, we're going to have to go to that third energy level, which gives us 18. So you can put up to 18 out here. But this year we're going to just put 8. But 18 can fit here. So notice right here, I've put no more than 2 electrons, no more than 8 electrons, and no more than 18 electrons. Now, I know these notes probably don't seem to make sense, but you're going to be getting onto STEMscopes today and doing some journal pages. Now, in class, we're using the actual purple book, but online, you log into STEMscopes and open up the assignment. Now, remember, to get into STEMscopes, you have to use ClassLink. But for the purpose of today, I'm going to show you in my booklet. So in my booklet, I'm going to turn to the pages we're using in class. And they're going to look very similar online, but yours are going to be more spaced out. In fact, I did pull it up. So when you pull it up online, let's see. It's kind of glarish, but we'll work here. Yours is going to have an intro video, kind of what I've just talked to you about. It's going to give you reading materials, so you can read through what I've just talked to you about if you'd rather do that. And then it's going to start in on the questions. Let me get down to it, you guys. So here are your questions. And they look very much like the book. See the difference there? And it's going to ask you to fill in what's missing. So you're going to scroll up. And for instance, here, you're going to fill in what's missing. And then to do that, it gives you the tools at the top. So you're probably going to select the paintbrush to fill in how many dots you need, and then the typing icon to put in your numbers. And as you go through this, it's going to kind of give you some hints of what to do. So that would be the answer for number 5. Y'all probably will not have the answer. This is the teacher view. But you're going to go through and you're going to fill in all of these all the way through. So I'm going to use my book to help you out today. So, starting with number 1, it is done for you. They have filled everything in that you need to know. So number 1 is actually hydrogen on the periodic table. It is atomic number 1. And the atomic number matches protons and it matches electrons. So if it's 1 here, it's 1 on these two. Then we've got to find our mass number, which is the bottom number, and here it's rounded. So it's 1. Then, to get your neutrons, you do 1 minus 1. So you subtract these two, and you get 0. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to come over to your element, and you're going to fill it in. And we're going to start in the nucleus. So we start here, which they have done for us. They wrote 1 P plus. That means 1 proton. Notice we have no neutrons, so they didn't write it in there. And we needed to color 1 electron. So we go and we color on the number 1 line. We start in the middle and we work our way out. Now the last 2 questions are going to ask you, how many energy levels did you use, is what this one's saying. So number of energy levels, meaning which ones did you color on? So you only colored on energy level 1. So you write a 1. Then it says, is this energy level full? Or excuse me, is the last energy level full? What that means is the last one you colored on completely full? Did you color all the dots? And in this case, we see we only colored 1, so no, we did not fill it up. So let's move on to the next ones. Helium, again, done for you. 2 atomic number, 2 protons, 2 electrons. Mass is 4, and when we do 4 minus 2, we get 2 for our neutrons. And then we're going to fill it in. We're going to go to the nucleus. So we have 2 protons, and we have 2 neutrons. Then we're going to go outside to the electron energy levels to fill in the electrons. Notice it's saying 2. So we are going to fill in 1 electron. We're going to follow that line around and put 2 electrons. Now, to answer the questions. How many energy levels did you use? We colored on energy level 1. Is it full? We filled in both dots, so yes, it is full. Okay, number 3. We've got everything filled in. We're going to go over here. We put our protons and our neutrons in the nucleus. Then we need 3 electrons. We're not going to be able to put 3 here because remember you can only have up to 2. So you fill in 1, follow it around, fill in 2. I need 3. So I have to go out to the next energy level and fill in number 3, which is here. So we have 3 electrons. 2 can only go in the middle, so we have to put number 3 out here. So we used energy level 1 and energy level 2. So 2. And did we fill in energy level 2? No, we did not. So let's look at number 4. Number 4 is partially done for you. They've given you the image, but you haven't filled in the blanks. So let's go over that one together. So looking at the image here, it says 4P plus. That means we have 4 protons. 5NO. That means we have 5 neutrons. And then looking at our picture, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 electrons. Now, once we have that done, we have to look at our energy levels. So we colored on energy level 1, and we colored on energy level 2. So we've used 2. Now look at energy level 2. We have a blank dot, a blank dot, a blank dot. So we did not fill them all in. So is the last energy level full? No, because we did not fill it in. All right, let's do another one together. Let's go a little bit harder this time. Let's go, I'm going to skip ahead. Let's go to number 9, fluorine. So when looking at fluorine, we get our periodic table, which you have on your Google Classroom, and you're going to look up fluorine. And it's over here to the right. I know that's probably hard to see, but it is atomic number 9, and its mass is 16.99. So we're going to round that to 17. We can put that away now, or set it to the side. Our atomic number tells us our protons, so 9, and it tells us our electrons, 9. Next, we've got to figure out our neutrons. So we have to subtract 17 minus 9. And when we subtract 17 minus 9, you should get 8. Now we're going to fill in our picture over here. We're going to put 9p plus for our protons, and we're going to do 8NO for our neutrons. We start in the nucleus. Now we need 9 electrons. So we start with energy level 1. We fill in 1, follow that line around, 2. So we're done here, but we need 9. So we have 1, 2, which means we have to jump out, do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. But look, you guys, we did not fill it in completely, so we have 1 open spot. So did we fill it in? No. And how many energy levels did we use? We used 1 and 2. So we used 2. Let's go down and do magnesium together. Now, magnesium is going to be in column number 2, so over here, Mg. And we know that it is number 12, and that our mass is 24.3. So we're going to say 24. And now we're going to fill in our blanks. 12 protons because it matches. 12 electrons because it matches. And then we're going to do our subtraction. 24 minus 12 gives us 12 neutrons. Now we've got to go fill in our picture. Protons in the middle, 12p plus. Neutrons in the middle, 12NO. And then we're going to color in 12 electrons. So 1, follow the line around. 2, no more to go, so we have to jump out. 3, 4, follow it around. 5, 6, keep following. 7, 8, and again. 9, 10. Okay, so I've got 10 and no more to go, so I have to jump out. So I would do 11 and 12. So in this case, I have filled up 1 and 2, and I've used level 3. So we've used 3. Did we fill in this last energy level? No, because we still have empty blanks. This is super simple, you guys. You just have to remember. 2 can go here. 8 can go on level 2. And then 8 can go on level 3, or 18. When you get to high school, you're going to know that 18 can go here, but this year we're going to stay with 8. So let's do one last one together. argon. So, argon is a gas. It's going to be all the way over on the last column. We're going to go down. Argon is number, oh, you can't see that. Sorry, guys. I'm going to come down. Argon is number 18. So we're going to write 18. And its mass is 20.1. So we're going to leave it at 20. Our protons are 18. Our electrons are 18. And when we subtract 20 minus, I think I wrote that wrong actually, guys. Pause, Miss Hartner. It's 29. Why did I say 20? It's 29.9. So that would actually make it 30. See? I messed up too. Let me fix that. 30. I knew that was wrong. All right, then we do 30 minus 18, which should give you 12. And then we're going to do nucleus first. So 18P plus 12NO. And then we're going to fill in our electrons. 1, 2, jump out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm full, so I have to jump out. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. And if you look here, we've used all 3 energy levels. So we've used 3, and we've colored them all in. So is it full? Yes, it is. So you're going to be working on this today. I'm going to put a picture of the notes. Again, I'm going to put those on. You're welcome to print those out at home and tape them in. If you do not have a printer, I would take this and I would write it into my journal. These notes are going to be super important. If you get to come back to school, you're going to need all of these. So I'm going to put a picture in the materials of the Google Classroom. One thing that I need you guys to remember is when getting into STEMscopes, you do not use your password from last year. STEMscopes, you have to go through the class link on the NISD webpage. And when you get to the class link, it's going to have your app screen. And you're going to click the STEMscopes app. And that's how you're going to get in. You have to use the class link. All right. I want you to work on that. And any other thing you have in Google Classroom that pops up. Thank you, guys. See you later.